Okay, thank you, Annie. Bonjour à tous, right? That's the expression. Super glad to be here. I'm Zhipeng Huang. Most people, you can call me Howard. I'm sitting on the LFAI and Data Foundation Board. And today I'm gonna talk about the era of open experience. So for those of you have been close, like following the RL topics, you know the title is sort of a paraphrase of the recent David Silver and Rich Sutton's the paper called The Era of Experience. Okay, so I'm gonna just give a brief introduction of what LFAI and Data Foundation is, and then I'm gonna walk through several trends I think are happening in LLM research. So bear in mind this is not exhaustive since I'm not a research expert myself. I just want to highlight some of the things I think is very important for both research and open source. And then this is my kind of the proposal of the year would like to throw out and get feedback on. Okay. So LFA Data Foundation is actually one of the, I think the longest established AI-related open source foundation under Linux Foundation. So back in time, 2019, I think, it was called LF Deep Learning, and then we got renamed. So the foundation has been growing in sizes in terms of people, projects, lines of commit. As you can see, it has become a really great big open source AI community. So I will welcome every one of you to join the foundation if you have not, or getting familiar with. A couple things I want to just highlight. So on the left-hand side, so since last year, we started to create these regional user groups. Since LFAI Data Foundation is a global open source foundation, so we want to make sure that geographically, a lot of people in different areas has their own focus group. So by now we have the RUG for APAC and also for Japan. They are actively organizing event. And I would be very interested if any of you have interest to create the RUG for Europe or for France or just let me know. So on right-hand side, there's another great initiative in LFAI is called Generative AI Commons, and one of the major deliverable I want to highlight is called MOF. It's Model Openness Framework, spearheaded by Annie and Matt. So we have a dashboard actually to show you different classes of models that you can trust how open they are. For example, we have the Aquila VL from BAI. We have various other open source LLMs from say Mistral and RWK, which is another LFAI Data Foundation project. Okay, so that's a brief overview. Now, so here are a couple trends I think worth noting. The first one is actually sort of controversial at the moment. So by the end of actually last year, we have this exciting new paper coming out from Meta, the BLT architecture. Although it took Meta, I think, more than 4 months to actually release the code. I think this is still very promising and important trend everyone is working on to have a truly unified architecture for text, vision, and a lot of modalities. So I think maybe this year, some of the labs will finally like cracks the solution for this, and maybe we finally see the encoder-decoder architecture make a big comeback. You never know. Also on this topic, there have been like diffusion-based ARs, a lot of effort looking at like different ways of unifying diffusion and autoregressive models. So definitely worth checking out. So the second one is actually my favorite topic. So I'm gonna quote a lot of existing material. So I try my best to put source at the left-hand side. You can check it out later. So linear attention, I think, had been, will continue to be one of the, I think, focus point of the architecture evolution. So if you are also interested, I will encourage you to follow Sunglin Yang's manual, her talk, and she's been running ASAP webinar, I think. You can search it on YouTube. They are great content. So for linear attention, most of you, I think, familiar with RWKV. And also from Europe, we have XLSTM, and we have like space-based models. There's a lot of MUNBUS, right? XBUS. So linear attention, the goal is generally to solve the problem that when you're training, the compute complexity goes quadratic, and also when inference, the memory requirement and the space requirement also explodes. So there's a great open source initiative called Flash Linear Attention, basically building the infrastructure for future linear attentions. I would encourage you to check it out. So the second one is sparsity. So this is actually kicked off with DeepSeek's NSA paper, and also the same week, I think the same day, mobile architecture from Kimi, Moonshot. So this is more specifically dynamic sparse attention. So from the NSA architecture from DeepSeek, we can see they are pursuing a truly what they mean native is what they call end-to-end, from training to inference, that the attention mechanism could support sparsity really well. And the strength of MOBA is actually to be compatible with the current flash attention implementations, and without designate like in NSA, you have to pick a fixed KB block. So the third one, if you watched the talk yesterday given by Minimax expert, is actually hybrid attention. So the pure linear attention, a lot of research has going on, has been not like proven at scale, but the hybrid attention, meaning mixing up, this is mostly interlayer mixing up with full attention and linear attention, has been very promising and proven at scale. I think this is one of the most like promising direction at production for this direction. So all of these could be categorized as, again, a quote from Sunglin Yang's recent talk, is the token mixing sort of things. I didn't add like the channel mixing side of things, which are mixture of experts. You are all familiar with MOE now, is a hype word, big word now. So on that topic, I think there's also a lot of innovation going on. I will encourage you to check out several papers like LTMM from ByteDance, also memory layer at scale from Meta. They both propose like new MOE architectures we might see working at scale later this year, hopefully. So the third one is actually one of the most niche area, so second order optimization. So I think this was kicked into mainstream by Moonshot releasing, they're actually using Muon, I don't know how to pronounce that, optimizer, which was developed in an open source way by the NanoGPT speedrun, which by the way is one of the most spectacular open source collaboration in our days. So the second order optimization actually looking at a way to address or to compute a gradient on the second order, which in theory could like quicker estimate how gradient goes. So in practice, due to the like compute complexities, a lot of other issue, it has never been like used vastly in production. However, we are seeing in this year with Muon, with Shampoo from Google, PSGD, also Mars from ByteDance, maybe we are seeing a explosion of such optimization techniques. So the fourth one was kind of put in back burner at the moment. So everyone is talking about LLM, AI for science was sexy for the Nobel Prize moment. Congrats to the Baker Lab folks. However, it's now like in the corner discussion. However, I still believe AI for science is still like a very important topic. The thing is that for everything that is tightly structured, you still have to have a good way to incorporate the prior into the model. For example, in say protein predictions in those areas. So for big molecules, you can just use say AlphaFold 3 has proven that you can just train it on a lot of data without such like structure prior. But for smaller molecules, for a lot of other highly structured data, I think you still need this tightly structured, say, transformer or attention mechanisms to have a good AI for science model to come up. Yep, still keep an eye on this front. So, well, data without saying. The things I want to highlight is actually the tooling of how you collect or process data. There are a couple like good papers, I think, RichMix, ProX. So check them out. I think propose a great way of how to process better data set for training. Also, La Robot from Hugging Face has been a great effort on both collecting and building toolings for robotic data. Okay, so this is the most, I think the hottest one now, right? Post-training enter the center stage. So RL, I think is in the like the mainstay of the things now with DeepSeek and many other models. So I will elaborate on this more later. So I just want to mention there are a couple topics I omitted in the trend. There are so evals, right, robotics, and also mechanistic interpretability. So those three are things that I think we can, if you are interested, we can discuss offline. So I didn't include in the slides. Okay, so this is the proposal. The motivation was actually by DeepSeek R1. So from R&D's perspective, DeepSeek R1 actually didn't change that much, right? So you still have the need for a good pre-trained base model. As you can see by a lot of research now, say Queen's base model already have a lot of good reasoning capabilities because they baked a lot of COT data in it. And for post-training, I think it's mostly by DeepSeek's adoption of GRPO without the more complex PRM stuff, so people can just try the RL cycle really fast now. But for open source, I think the R1 opened up a new era or a significant moment for open source AI, since so in the pre-training era, I think mostly we just need a good team to came up with a model, right? There were not like really a lot of requirement for open collaboration. Well, we do have a lot of fine tuning, like dataset collaboration, Hugging Face. We might use merge kit that involves collaboration. However, it was not a really big deal. But for RL, I think it's opened up a new era of open collaboration. So I think the left figure, Jensen, in this year's GTC also highlighted those 3 little rectangulars, basically signals the RL flywheel we have today. So the proposal I have for you is mostly related to IOGR. Well, you are, I think, most familiar with the concept of RVR. So IOGR is reinforcement learning with generalized rewards because we need to deal with both verifiable rewards for coding, math, those tasks, and also non-verifiable rewards. Those are more difficult. For example, if you want to process a legal document, to have a good reward model on that. So this needs a lot of collaboration to make that happen. The core motivation actually came from George Waters on Twitter. So I highlight here, you can check out his tweet. So as you can see, Hugging Face team has been doing this amazing OpenR1 recreation. So my emphasis is mostly on the final stage, so RLGR or RLVR. So for the RL flywheel to actually happen in an open source manner, we have a lot of things we can do in collaboration, like reasoning data selections, distilling data refinement, identify prerequisite for reasoning distillations, build simple test time compute levers, like discuss how we better proceed with non-verifiable rewards. So those are, I think, exciting and new directions we can do in open source and collaborate. These are not something a single lab team, what they can do, but they can do all of these things. So there has been already a lot of open source things going on. For example, George started with the Google Doc, collecting the ontology. So I turned it into a GitHub repo. So you are more than welcome to submit PRs. So the document is basically like collecting all the categories of RLVR and non-verifiable rewards effort. You can find both open source and yeah. And also there's already like the verifiers project, you have like from Prime Intellect, right? One of the coolest startups, I think that's general reasoning. Already start to collecting the reasoning data and the tooling and the stuff I just mentioned. We just need, I think we just need the effort in the open source foundation that is vendor neutral and truly collaborative. So here are some the areas I just identified. Maybe there are more. You are welcome to propose new things. So one of the things I'm very excited, this is from News Research, a recent addition to the RL gyms. As you can see, there has been a lot of advancement. Okay, to a larger scale, so this is also not an exhaustive list, but I think if we have a truly open, like better open OSS ecosystem for AI, we can truly embrace a open experience era, and that works for the best of us. Okay, this is my last page. I'm fairly active on Twitter. You can reach out to me. I have set up a GitHub repo. You can submit PR. I had a code with George from George Waters. I think is really badass. So just talk to me and or submit PR. Let's build a open source community together. Merci beaucoup. Thank you.